Okay, hello everyone. My name is David Valdez, and I'm your lecturer for BBMM605 Entrepreneurship. So today I'm going to be giving you a little bit of an introduction to the unit and giving you an idea on what assessments are needed for you to pass and to do well in this unit. I'm also going to give you a little bit of an orientation on how we're going to be teaching this unit online, because we know very well, because of the coronavirus crisis, we are now forced to take this unit fully online. So your classes will be done via an application called Zoom, and I'll introduce that to you in a few minutes. All right, so let's go on. Let me just share my screen. Okay, as you can see, that's me a couple of years ago, looking a little bit better, perhaps with the better lighting. But that's, yes, believe it or not, that's still me. So I am, as I said, I am your lecturer for entrepreneurship, this unit, but I'm also the deputy head of discipline for management and marketing here at CIC Higher Education. So if you need to contact me for any reason, you could send me an email. If it's about this unit, or maybe it's about any other unit within management and marketing, and I can help you out with that. All right, so as I said, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the assessments, about the learning outcomes of this unit. And this is the textbook that we'll be using. It is Entrepreneurship Theory, Process, and Practice from Donald Kuratko. So the most important thing that you need to know is Moodle is our central location for communication, as well as material for this unit, and of course all your units that you're taking up in CIC. So it's really important for you to go to Moodle as often as you can, hopefully every day, because we know that although your classes are Wednesdays and Thursdays, you will be expected to do studying outside of those hours and outside of those days. We also will be communicating with you via your student emails. So make sure, please, that you've activated your student email and that you are regularly checking your emails, because some very important announcements can be sent to you and you could miss that. So I would highly recommend that you use an app on your phone to access your emails, not just from your computer, again, also from your smartphones. We will have consultation, and while it looks as if we're going to do most of our consultation online, and we'll be using applications such as Zoom in order for you to speak with your lecturer in the same way that I'm speaking to you here as a recording, but you will be able to speak to me live. If you need to speak to me, you can send me an email and we can set an appointment, and you can see me, of course, in a virtual manner, but I can help you with any concerns that you have. Okay, what you need to do as a student for entrepreneurship. So every Wednesday and Thursday, please log in to Moodle at about 3:30 or a little bit earlier than 3:30. So we'll start doing that from 25th of March up to the 14th of May. So every Wednesday and Thursday, we will be holding class, but not physical classes. We'll be having online classes. So the first thing you need to do, of course, is to go from Moodle, the homepage of Moodle, go into BBMM605. And that is the unit page for this subject. Click on the Zoom link, which is called a Zoom online session, which this link is located right below the discussion forum on Moodle. So let me just show you that for a moment, if I can get to it. Yeah, so that's the link, right? I think I've also have a slide that shows you where exactly it is on Moodle. Okay, so click on that at 3:30 in the afternoon every Wednesdays and Thursdays. And basically that will enable you to speak with me. It will look somewhat like this. You've got the screen on your right side, or is it on your left side? I'm not sure. But you will see my face there, and I will be speaking to you live. You can ask me questions. You can raise your hand. Yes, you can raise your hand, and I'll show you that to you at a later time. So I will give you instructions every day on what you're supposed to be doing for that session. So I'll give you an example of that. I'll go back to, so for example, I might tell you on the 1st of April when we meet online, I might tell you, okay, ladies and gentlemen, please click on lecture 1.1 slides. Go over them. I'll give you 1 hour to go over them. Ideally, you would have gone over these slides a day before. So this might be the second time you would have seen these slides. Have a look. Some of those slides I may have put some notes on, so you can basically read these notes which explains in more detail the slides that are being shown. I might also tell you to watch a video, like for example this one, Michael Dell, who is actually the founder of a wonderful computer company called Dell Computers. In fact, I'm using a Dell computer right now. So it's a really fascinating story. And to think that Dell is one of the biggest computer companies in the world. And yet this was started in the 1980s just from his college dorm. Yes, he was doing a business from his college dorm. So a fascinating story, and we'll have a lot of these stories in the next few weeks. So I'll ask you to watch that, but more importantly, I might even ask you to answer a few questions about the video. In fact, at the end of the session, I might actually ask you, okay, go and watch the video and then come back, say at around 4:30 in the afternoon, go back into the meeting, and then I'll be asking you questions about the video or asking you questions about the slides, and you should be able to answer them. And we'll also have most likely graded online quizzes at almost every session. So please make sure you're there, okay? Let's go back to our slide. Okay. So again, after number 4, listen to instructions at every day that you're there. There are graded online activities, as I mentioned before. Make sure you take these online activities, because if you're not there and you don't take it, I may not allow you to retake, or I may not allow you to take those quizzes at a future time. In which case you may lose some marks, which goes to your total grade for this unit. After each session, your lecturer will also tell you what materials to study from Moodle to prepare for the next session. The session dates will be clearly marked on Moodle, as you may have seen. All right, so that's the link I mentioned to you earlier. Okay, a little bit of something about the unit learning outcomes for entrepreneurship. What we're going to be learning in this unit is basically we'll be looking at entrepreneurs or maybe former entrepreneurs. We'll be looking at their life story and trying to gain some understanding of the characteristics of typical entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, because hopefully you might become an entrepreneur in the future. So then understanding the nature of entrepreneurship, defining what do you mean by entrepreneurship. We'll also look at ways entrepreneurs can make decisions, how they can, which tools they use to basically become successful in business. And we'll try to figure out how to develop new ideas for businesses. And lastly, you will be creating an entrepreneurial business plan for a startup. It's going to be a simulated startup. You never know. You might end up actually starting this business in the future. but we will look at a typical format for a good business plan that can you can use to set up a new business. Okay, so will we create, how will you be graded for this unit? So we've got an assessment plan. As usual, we have a week 2 online quiz. This will be due on the 12th of April. So you need to do this between now, actually between the 5th of April, and the last day for doing that will be before midnight on the 12th of April. So make sure you go into Moodle to take that week 2 quiz. There will also be graded online quizzes, as I mentioned to you before. 20% of that will be your final grade. There will be a midterm test, which will be done online as well. So this midterm test will be related to your group assignment. So you need to form groups of 2 people, 2 to 3 people, and you will be making a business plan. Now, this business plan, I'll be asking you about your preparations for it, and that's going to be our midterm test. So the first part of that assignment is a midterm test. The second will be a written assignment. So this is the final report that we will be asking you to prepare. It's going to be a long report. I think it's about 5,000 words, but this is again for 2 to 3 people. We'll give you more information about that at a later time. Don't worry about that. So the last part of that assignment will be an oral presentation. So this is going to be interesting because you're going to have to do your presentations online in a similar fashion that I'm doing it right now. So you're going to use Zoom, and you will be making a presentation with a PowerPoint slide, similar to what I'm doing right now. Okay, so this is going to be a very challenging environment, as you can see. You're going to have to learn from home. You're going to have to do a lot. You're going to have to be motivated to do a lot of studying on your own. And this slide just shows us what are the components of studying online. First of all, of course, you must have an instructor, and you must listen to that instructor. Okay, so hopefully this instructor will have what it takes to guide you through an online environment. And as a student, you will be learning from your peers. In other words, your classmates as well. So get in contact with them, form groups with them, contact them by phone or by WeChat or by WhatsApp or whatever you use to communicate. And start working on your business plan. Okay, so you can learn from each other that way. Of course, technology will be a vital part of this environment. And although it is daunting, a little bit difficult perhaps for many people, I assure you that it's with a lot of practice, you will learn how to use technology very well. And of course, the last part is the content. Basically, our lecture slides, the videos that we'll be showing you, all of this form part of that online learning environment. So and this is my job, basically, to make sure this content is easily accessible to you. It's easily understood by you. And I'm going to put it in such a fashion that, of course, it'll be interesting to you as well. All right, what makes a successful student, especially a successful online student? So the first thing I'd like to mention is good time management. So make sure you prioritize, make sure you understand what your goals are and be focused on what your goals are into the future. Understand what you need, how much time you need to set aside for your studying, for your self-study. Definitely make sure you have allocated time for class. Make sure you're there at 3:30 every Wednesdays and Thursdays. I highly recommend that you use a digital organizer or a digital calendar like Google Calendar. Every time you set an appointment on Google Calendar, you can share this information on your phone. You can use that information will appear on your computer as well if you're sharing it properly. And it can give you notifications and reminders whenever you need to be reminded of something that you need to do. So that's all part of good time management. Of course, you need to be motivated. And as I was saying earlier, I guess one way to get motivated is to know what your goals are. If you know that you're doing this, you're studying hard, going through your boring lessons, going through your lectures like me, putting yourself to sleep listening to these lectures. But if you know what your goals are, if you know what you're doing this for, which is basically to have a good career, then hopefully it will drive you forward. Um, you need to have some basic technical skills, and as I was saying before, don't worry about that. My experience is as long as you practice, as long as the more you use technology, the better you will be at using it. The last component that I think you really will need will be a good study environment. So make sure you have an area to yourself in your home. Try to make sure your friends can't bother you. Set aside a time where you can actually work in a focused manner, where you can't be interrupted by things like television or perhaps your friends or perhaps social media. Take that time out and get some quiet time to be able to review your lessons. Okay, and that's it. So I'm going to be ending this recording very soon. There will be more videos to come. So I really urge you to come on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 3:30. Listen to my video. It'll be a live video. I'll give you instructions there, and I'll tell you, what further videos you could watch in order for you to prepare for this unit. So that's it for today, and I'll see you very soon.